happened Monday night, December 13th. We got a few games. The first game is the Miami Heat losing to the Cleveland Cavaliers. The Miami Heat, they got a couple guys out. Jimmy Butler, of course, keeps getting questionable tag and keep missing games. And then obviously Ben Adebayo. Dwayne Dedmon played just the 23 minutes, but he's a guy that we could for sure stream if you need some rebounds, some big man stats. He's not going to play 30 minutes every night, but, he had a great game last time around. This one, just the 10 points and 5 rebounds, could be a streamer. PJ Tucker went off this game, but just don't really trust in PJ in fantasy, really up and down. One game he does this, another game he grabbed 5 rebounds and nothing else. Duncan Robinson hit 1 3. With everybody out, didn't do much. And Tyler Hero also got hurt. He played 25 minutes. Hero is not even ranked in the last 2 weeks. Let's see on the season, where is Tyler at? 124 there. He has a quad contusion. He might be out for a couple games. But the problem with Tyler Hero is he give you good points and threes, but it's not like he's making 3.5 threes, maybe 2.5, 2.6 on the season, 5.3 rebound, 3.7 assists. Those are all right, but absolutely no defensive stats, and kind of a low field goal guy and 3.1 turnovers. So his fantasy is not exactly. I think whenever he have 30 points, goes up like that, you could try to trade him for a top 60 player or do a 2.1 for a top 50 player. But yeah, he probably gotta wait. After now that he's injured. Kyle Lowry, great, 22 points, 5 assists. You would expect him to get more assists with everybody out, but just 5 assists, 1 steal and a block. And look at the Cavaliers, the Cleveland Cavaliers. I don't think they've been winning. Yeah, they won 4 straight. They're 8-2 in the last 10 games. They are 4th seed in the Eastern Conference right now. Who knows? They could. A lot of teams are injured, have a lot of injuries. They got their own injuries. Colin Sexton out, but ever since Colin Sexton got hurt, they've been playing very, very well. Lauren Markkinen, this lineup is pretty scary. Lauren Markkinen, 12 points, 2 threes. He needs to be rostered, but hasn't really been playing up to. Don't think he's inside of top 100 in the last 2 weeks. Yeah, 178, probably a buy low. Like, he should be a top 100 guy, or like if he got dropped, right, I would go pick him up. Evan Mobley struggled shooting the ball again, but 9 points, 2 steals, no blocks here, 5 rebounds. He'll be better than this. Jarrett Allen again, 6 for 6 from the field, 5 for 5 from the free throw line, 8 rebounds, 3 assists, and a block. Continues to play crazy good. He was the number 1 ranked player. Third ranked player now in the last 2 weeks still. Isaiah Okoro had one of his best offensive games. Played 35 minutes as well, but for now, I don't think he's fantasy relevant. He needs to provide enough defensive stats in order for us to go grab him. Offensively, really not doing much. 4 for 8 from the free throw line is not sustainable. Darius Garland didn't shoot the ball well, but 5 assists and 3 steals and 3 threes is, still great. Kevin Love, in just 24 minutes, 9 rebounds, 23 points, and 5 threes, 6 for 6 from the free throw line. This is some crazy numbers in just 24 minutes. I think he's a guy we could look to stream. He's been putting up some great numbers. Actually, 53rd ranked player in the last 2 weeks. 14.5 points, 3.4 threes. Yeah, it's mainly the 3.4 threes as boosting his value, but it's not really sustainable. Try to sell him for any value you can, otherwise just hold. Most stream him for threes and rebounds. If you need those 2 categories, he does provide some unique combination of categories. Rebounds and threes. Not that many guys. Most guys who shoot threes don't grab a lot of rebounds, and vice versa. Ricky Rubio, 7 assists and a steal, 7 points. Ricky Rubio has been underwhelming, but just because the assist, I think you gotta hold him in category leagues. If you don't want the assist, try to trade him. Some team in your league probably love Rubio. Try to trade him do a 2-for-1 for maybe top 50, 60, I don't know, because he provides such good assists, and a little bit steals, but everything else lately has not been good. Let's look at the next game. The Golden State Warriors beat the Indiana Pacers. I mean, Curry was questionable coming in, And they keep changing his tag. He played this game, and he's most likely gonna play on today. Try to break Ray Allen's 3-point record at Madison Square Garden. I think they are just setting him up for it. I think so. The Warriors do have a back-to-back later this week. I think Curry might miss that one. But he took 15 threes. He might have broken the record by accident, and at Pacers. But I think we're all glad he didn't do that. He just 5 threes. I think he needs 6 to tie it. So most likely he's gonna break it tonight. 26 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists. Still, overall great game. And he hasn't been shooting the ball well lately. In the past 2 weeks, he's still a top 2 player. But like I said, if you can, 55th ranked player, averaging just 22.7 points with 34% shooting. Yeah, he's really strong. He had a couple of rough games. But again, like top 2 player, if you can get Jokic, trade Curry or get Jokic, I obviously would do it now. Now it will be kind of tough. Jordan Poole, not the best game, and 1 for 3 from the free throw line. But he's been playing pretty well lately. Kevon Looney played really high minutes, 27 minutes, but he's not really fantasy relevant. Draymond Green, is that a season high? 15 points, 9 rebounds, no defensive stats. Below averaging from Draymond. I would say with Draymond, you really want him to get those defensive stats, the assist. Scoring, you don't really care. Andrew Wiggins, 15 points still, and 3 blocks. 3 blocks is really good. Overall good game from Andrew Wiggins. And Otto Porter coming off the bench at 10 and 6. The rest of the guys really not. Gary Payton Jr., you could use to stream him for steals, but now it's just 9 minutes. So we should, don't touch any of the Warrior bench guys, to be honest. For the Indiana Pacers, Chris Duarte is probably a drop. He wasn't in some foul trouble. But I think unless some guys get traded, I don't think he's a must roster. We could definitely stream him. Sabonis had a really good game. 30 points, 11 rebounds. Had 6 offensive rebounds. 6 for 10 from the free throw line is bad. But with him, you probably want probably pound free throws to begin with. 2 steals in the block, no assist. He's been playing well lately. There's no denying of that. I still would try to sell high. Man, who knows? If he gets traded, I don't know. It might take him a while to get into the system, or just to put up stats like this. So best case scenario is for Turner to get traded. Sabonis stays. I think that would be the best case scenario. And again, like a lot of the Pacer guys, I really try to. The minutes is super high for all of them. They always get injured as the same. Well, Brogdon is already out a couple games. Brogdon played also really well. 23 points, 8 assists, 6 rebounds, with 2 steals even. Top 40, 50 player. If he can get more steals, who knows? He could move into top 30. But just gets hurt. Just gets hurt every year. Karis LeVert, I think he needs to be rostered. He's been playing better and better. His back, was bothering him. Probably still is. Just hold. But he's been playing well lately. Miles Turner 1 for 10. Such a Miles Turner game. 10 blocks and 4 blocks. 10 rebounds and 4 blocks. 4 for 4 from the free throw line is also good. That's Miles Turner for you. Let's look at the next game. The Kings lost to the Raptors. The Raptors keep winning games without a bunch of their guys. Well, 13 and 14. 5 and 5, and the Kings, they're just a mess. Elvin Gentry. Kings rotation is really, really weird. A couple of guys, Alex Lamb, Chimezie Matthew, Marvin Bagley, even now but with Buddy Hield, Terrence Davis, like Tristan Thompson. Just playing a lot of guys. 10 guys played, and other than De'Aaron Fox and a lot of the guys played just 21 minutes. Harrison Barnes and Tyrese Halliburton, they're supposed to get 30 minutes. But because it was a blowout, I think they only got 22. I wasn't worried too much. Both of them had a horrible game, of course. Probably buy low if you can. But outside those three guys' minutes is all over the place. Chimezie Matthew was getting DMPs. Now he got 22 minutes. Alex Len was getting DMPs. Now he got 22. Buddy Hield, he's probably a lot of guys are holding him. I think you still got to hold. Made 4 threes here, had 27 minutes. Another guy, Terrence Davis, was a popular pickup. He, the minutes is really up and down. I think we could move on from him, unless there's some, somebody get hurt or get traded. He's not gonna give the guy 30 minutes, just like Delon Wright late last year. Him and Delon Wright were killing it last year. When De'Aaron Fox was hurt, I forgot who got hurt, but yeah, unless he gets consistent 25 to 30 minutes, he's not gonna be that fantasy relevant. For the Toronto Raptors, the news came out that OG and Cam Birch, they're gonna be out in the short term, but who knows, right? OG really, how many games did he play this season? Who knows? Just injuries like this, you just don't know when he's gonna play. You obviously gotta hold him. Meanwhile, Scotty Barnes just going off every single game. This game 5 blocks. My God, I really like Scotty Barnes in fantasy. His efficiency is still rough. The field goals and the free throw, but the counting stat, the rebound, the assist, the steals, and 5 blocks this game. Really scary stuff. And he in the last 2 weeks, 12th ranked player in the last 2 weeks. This is obviously too high for him. Who knows? He could be if he can, all the things he's doing is sustainable except the 2.5 blocks. If that go back to 1, he's probably a top 50 player. 1.3 steals, sure. 3 assists, could be even higher. 7.8 blocks, 7.8 rebounds, sure. So it's really just the 2.5 blocks. That's too crazy. I think obviously a sell high if you can for a top 30-40 player. Otherwise probably just hold. Who knows? Maybe he could block 1.3 shots a game. So if you can trade a top 30 player, do it. Otherwise just hold. He provides, there's not one category he doesn't have, really, all around stats. But if you're punting, let's say if you're punting rebounds, or if you're punting any of the rebound or blocks, right, then probably you want to try to make a trade to a team. Probably a lot of the teams in category leagues, a lot of some team in your league probably loved Scotty Barnes, love what he brings in fantasy. Pascal Siakam, 16 points and 8 rebounds. Not the best game from Pascal. Missed his free throw. Chris Boucher, in the short term, we gotta grab him. 22 minutes. And with everybody out, he plays just 22 minutes. And this guy, every single year, it's the same story with him. Not really fantasy, not really getting the minutes with everybody in, but always, every single year, Raptors, somebody get hurt, and he could be a top 50 player. In the next week or so, he could be a top 50. So a must roster guy this week. I think Gary Trent Jr. just the 10 points, but give us the 3 steals. He's just such a so consistent getting the average 2 steals. He could average 2 steals, 1.7, 1.8. It's being, I don't know, 33% of the season. He's gonna keep doing it. It's no fluke, I don't think. Fred VanVleet, 12 points, 5 assists, and 2 steals. Not the best game from him. And Yuta Watanabe, coming, he played 26 minutes. He gets a bunch of defensive stats. He hustles a lot. So maybe you could stream him for some rebounds and some defensive stats this week if he can continue getting 25 minutes. I'm not sure he can though. So probably better options out there. The next game, the Houston Rockets. This game, high scoring game, good for everybody. 132-126. Rockets got to win. It's really wild how Rockets just keep winning. They're 8-2 in the. If they win a bunch of games, who knows? They might be. They could be in the plays. They could be the 10th seed. They could be the 10th seed if they keep this up. They only 1.5 games. Well, yeah, they're only 2 games behind the 10th seed. But look at the roster on paper. You have doubts. Garrison Matthews. This game is interesting because, they decided to go with the bench unit to close the game. So, a lot of the stars didn't get huge minutes. Garrison Matthews just 27 minutes. He's still a hold until Kevin Porter or Jalen Green both of those guys come back. You got to hold him. Jason Tate, in 24 minutes, had a huge game. 15 minutes, 2 steals and 2 blocks. You could still stream him. Christian Wood did not have the best game. Went 0 for 6 from 3, 12 points. Amoni Brooks, same thing. But those guys, Amoni Brooks, Jason Tate, Garrison Matthews, you could stream Eric Gordon. You could all stream them this weekend until Kevin Porter comes back. Eric Gordon, huge game, 32 points, 5 threes, and a steal. But interestingly, some of the bench guys, was able to close the game. Kenyon Martin, but I think it's just one game. Kenyon Martin Jr., 13 points with 6 rebounds and a block. I think all of those guys like Şengün, obviously, Christopher, those guys getting 25 to 30 minutes, they need to be rostered. Şengün put up a really good line. 11 points, a steal and 2 blocks, 6 rebounds, 4 assists. Like, you can pick him up, but I think very likely the next game he gets 20 minutes, because coach just refused to play him high minutes. This game, because the bench unit played really well. You can see all the guys getting huge minutes. Yeah, if you want to take a fly on him, sure, but he could very much get in 18 minutes next game. For the Atlanta Hawks, Timothy Loire was not really fantasy relevant. John Collins, 14 and 7 and a block. Just a very average John Collins game. And Ken Capella, 16 rebounds, steal and 2 blocks. Decent game from Capella, 2 for 4 from the free throw line. Against the bad Rockets team, but you would expect him to get more defensive stats. 2 blocks is not too bad. And I guess Kevin Porter Jr. is not playing. So Rockets doesn't really give away all those turnovers anymore. Kevin Huerter struggled, 2 for 10. He played really well. He has been playing really well. So he's got to be a hold still. It's just one rough game against the Rockets very weirdly. 77th ranked player in the last 2 weeks. Sure, you could hold him. Trae Young, great game against the bad Rockets team. Not really much to say. Trae Young has been a beast this season. And the only thing I would say is if he can get more defensive stats, that would be great. His game, he's not going to shoot a lot of high percentage. He's not going to all of a sudden don't turn the ball over, right? So those 2 things probably not going to change in the years to come. But, he could get more steals. If he tried, this is the only one category that I think he has room to improve. Gallinari could be a stream. Same thing with Cam Reddish. But it depends on the Hawks schedule. Let's look at the next game. The Milwaukee Bucks lost to the Boston Celtics. Celtics got the win. Chris Middleton exit the game with the knee injury. They said it's not too serious, so he might miss a couple games. With him out, Grayson Allen, Pat Connaughton, those guys could be picked up and streamed. Especially Pat Connaughton. He's been super good. Hitting threes, getting steals, grabbing rebounds. 56 ranked player, in the last 2 weeks in 29 minutes. 12.5, meaning 12.5 points is all right, but 2.9 threes, 1.3 steals, 49% shooting, 90% from the free throw line, and he doesn't turn the ball over at all. 0.1 turnover in the last 2 weeks. So he had 1 turnover in the last 2 weeks. That is, basically he won't hurt you anywhere. He's probably gonna average 0.2, 0.3 turnovers. Who knows? And if you punting assist, I think he's great. A little bit everything else. So he needs to be picked up. But again, I think Dante DiVincenzo is going to be back this week. So we'll see what happens. Dante DiVincenzo is a good steals guy, but that's about it. So Pat Connaughton, Grayson Allen obviously for threes and points, and brought a little bit of defensive stats as well. Bobby Portis, is definitely a sell high. In the last 2 weeks, I think we talked about him. In the last 2 weeks, 35th ranked player. Try to trade him 1-for-1 straight off for any top 40 or 50 player. 10 rebounds, 1.4 steals, and 1.4 steals, 1.4 steals and 1.3 blocks. Both are not sustainable. I really try to sell him. Giannis Antetokounmpo had an alright game, 20 points and 8 rebounds. And for the Celtics, I think Jaylen Brown played and exited the game again. Man, what is okay? Well, he didn't exit the game. Maybe I read it wrong. But hamstring issues are super tricky. Like, he had a decent game this time. If you can get top 30, 35, struggle. Like if you can get Shea, if you can get Bradley Beal, even do a 2-for-1 to get those guys, because the other guys are healthy and they have been struggling, but they're healthy. I don't think Jaylen Brown is gonna put up the numbers he was putting up the first couple games. I don't think so. But this game is really good. 4 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals, and about 19 points, 4 from the free throw line, hit 3 threes. Jason Tatum, he's back. Just don't know what happened early this season, but he's back. 42 points, 3 steals, really good here. Al Horford continues to just put solid numbers, across the board, top 50 value, 10 points, 2 threes, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. He can pass, he can get 3-4 assists a game. He can block shots, he can get some steals. Really solid. A must-roster guy, I think we all know that. Meanwhile, Robert Williams is suffering. The minutes is super low. He's obviously a hold. He's gonna block 2 shots a game, and for that reason, you just have to hold him. It's gonna be tough, rough, and I would even go buy low on him. Throw him a top 70, 80 guy. Marcus Smart had 2 points, 11 assists, 5 rebounds. He's solid enough. Let's just hold him. He's gonna have sometimes score 2 points. Those games do happen. Dennis Schroeder had a block and 7 points. Probably just a hold. We know Jaylen Brown is gonna be in and out of the lineup. Probably hold. And if he goes off, again, see how high. Grant Williams getting the 20 minutes, played pretty well, 17 and 7. But with everybody healthy, I don't think he has too much value. The next game, the Philadelphia Sixers lost to the Grizzlies. They're just a very good and deep team. Ja Morant is out. They might have a better record with Ja Morant out. In their last 10 games, they're 8-2. Yeah, they definitely have a better record without Ja Morant. That is interesting. For the Sixers, Joel Embiid was a late scratch this game. This is the problem with Joel Embiid. I guess he got hurt. He had a rib issue last game, toward the end of the last game. So just set this one out. But yeah, it's not unlucky for him to get hurt every single year. The way he plays, having a such big and heavy body, running up and down the court, having body collisions. Just those type of things. He's just I just don't know if he can, stay healthy, right? Such a big target on the court. Yeah. It's tough, but the only time you can do something is for a stretch he plays really well. You could try to sell him, but if you can get a top 10, 12 player back, find a team that Joel Embiid really fits their team build. Try to see if you can make that trade. Otherwise, what are you gonna do? You just have to hold. Matisse Thybulle played just the 21 minutes. Matisse Thybulle and Danny Green both need to be dropped. Probably. You could stream them, but they're not must rosters. I think it's pretty clear. The minutes is not there for either guy. Tobias Harris has been very, very bad. Probably I just haven't seen a good Tobias Harris game in the last, I don't know how many games. 107th ranked player, still okay. It's not like, because his efficiency is all right, so his rankings won't be too bad. But 15 points, 7 rebounds. Yeah, it's been rough. I look to buy low. To me, he's a top 50 player, pretty comfortably, but just very low defensive stats. But everything else is pretty solid. Andre Drummond, with Joel Embiid out, played just 20 minutes. They decided to go small. Joel Embiid probably going to be back next game. If Joel Embiid continues to be out, Andre Drummond is a no-brainer streamer. Furkan Korkmaz, 10 points, not the best game. And Tyrese Maxey, with Joel Embiid out, right on schedule, took 17 shots, 23. If Joel Embiid continues to miss games, I would really try to sell him. Any top 70, 80 value, try to sell him. And Shake Milton also played 29, had an okay game. And Jordan Nian had, come in, played 26 minutes, but let's not worry about him. For the Grizzlies, a lot of good fantasy guys. Dylan Brooks, a must roster, especially if you're pounding field goal. His field goal was good this game. He played just 27 minutes. This game was a blowout, so easy work. 23 minutes in 27 minutes. Jaren Jackson Jr., good to see him only you know, in 26 minutes, just the 2 fouls. Jaren Jackson Jr. has been a beast. He's probably a sell high, you know, because when Ja Morant comes back, his usage does go down because Ja Morant just takes such high usage. But he's been getting blocks, getting steals, hitting threes, just a little bit of everything. So really good stuff from him. And if you can get a guy like, I don't know, because a lot of his value is coming from the defensive stats, so it could be, you know, if you don't want the blocks, try to target guys like Anthony Edwards, you know, top 30, 40 guys. Otherwise, you know, if you love the blocks, you could probably just hold Steven Adams. Let's not worry about him. Desmond Bane played just 20 minutes again, like 8 rebounds, 6 assists, and still on a block. Didn't shoot the ball well, but again, he remains to be a huge sell high. Try to get him for a top 60 player. Otherwise, I probably just want to hold. He could be a top 80 guy when Ja Morant comes back, 80, 90. I could see that, but not, you know, lately he's been, in the last 2 weeks, after this game, he's still like the 27th ranked player that's just way too good. So any top 50, 60 player, I'll probably do it. Tyus Jones, a must roster guy until Ja Morant comes back. I think we all know that. And Kyle Anderson, DeAnthony Melton, in just 22 minutes, they don't need a lot of time. Had 4 steals for Kyle Anderson and DeAnthony Melton. Sure, even did everything. 2 steals and a block, 4 assists, 2 threes, 15 points. But it's, you know, the coaches Jenkins refused to play DeAnthony Melton high minutes. What are you going to do, even without Ja Morant? So when Ja Morant comes in, he's going to just get 20 to 25 minutes. Which, you know, in 20 to 25 minutes, if you love the assists, if you love the steals, love the blocks, you could still hold him, I think. This is the word, you could still hold him. He's still providing pretty good values in just 22, 23 minutes. Let's go to the next game. The Charlotte Hornets, we have 3 games left. The Charlotte Hornets lost to the Dallas Mavericks 96-120. Not a great game from the Hornets guys. And, you know, I think they got Terry Rozier back. LaMelo Ball should be back. I think the protocol is, you know, you got to have 2 negative tests or whatever it is. So he should be close. He should be close. But expect them to, you know, when they do come back, well, he's a pretty young guy, but expect the first couple games to be a bit rough. Terry Rozier came and played all right, actually. 20 points. Didn't look like the COVID impacted him at all. 20 points, a steal and a block, and 2 threes. If you can get a top 50 player back for Terry Rozier, I would absolutely do it. Before he got COVID, he was on a very, very hot stretch. I think I would really like to trade him. Gordon Hayward, 6 rebounds, 6 assists, 17 points, an alright game. And Miles Bridges struggled shooting the ball, but 10 rebounds, a steal and a block, 3 assists. Still great. I think the only thing with Miles Bridges is his efficiency. He's providing really solid numbers across the board. But free throw is an issue for him. Field goal has been good for the most part. And what is up with Nick Richards starting, play 3 minutes? Literally just 3 minutes. Wow. I guess he kind of got destroyed. You know, the first 3 minutes he was a minus 10. You know, but yeah, let's not worry about him. Cody Martin, a must roster guy, kind of struggled this game, a minus 24. But let's hold until LaMelo Ball comes back. And then he'll go back to playing 25 minutes. Still have streaming value, but not a must roster. PJ Washington, 28 minutes. Not the best game, while Kelly Oubre Jr. continues to be a big, very, very big sell high. 20 points, 4 threes, and 2 for 5 from the free throw line. His free throw shooting is horrible. But guess what? He's the 15th ranked player in the last 2 weeks. And averaging 38 points, 38 minutes a night, shooting 50% from the free throw line, 3.3. So if he just shoots 70% or 75%, he's being a top 10 guy for sure. For sure. Do a 2 for 1 to get any top 50 player. For sure, try to do those trades. He is not going to do this. One guy's come back. Who knows? Some nights he only played 20. He's not going to do this. Try to sell him. For the Dallas Mavericks, without Luka, they got the win pretty comfortably, carried by Porzingis. Porzingis played just 25 minutes, but had 5 blocks and 13 rebounds and 3 threes. What a game from Porzingis. And my suggestion is try to sell him. Before you know it, he might get hurt again. But whenever he plays, he's just too good. Top 25 guy. Try to see if you can get a top 30, top 25, 30 guy. Otherwise, you could just hold and hope that he doesn't hurt at the wrong times, right? And healthy at the right times in the playoffs. Dorian Finney-Smith played all right. 32, shot the ball pretty well, 15 points and 3 threes. He could be a streamer for sure. Minutes is very consistent with him. And Reggie Bullock, let's not worry about him. Jalen Brunson, with Luka out, he played just 25 minutes. So the minutes is just a little bit weird. This game from the Mavericks. 13 points and 8 assists is good. The assist he's providing mainly very, very solid. Maxi Kleber, the 29 minutes. If we know he can get a consistent 30 minutes, I think we could stream him for some rebound and threes mainly. Tim Hardaway Jr. without Luka, 19 points, and Trey Burke got into the action, 22 points. But in the short term with Luka out, Trey Burke probably not, play just 23 minutes, but Tim Hardaway Jr. is a guy we could definitely stream. Let's look at the next game. The Washington Wizards, Denver Nuggets beat them 103, 113, 107. For the Wizards, I feel like they're just such paper tigers. I don't know how they got off such a good start. They've been just losing games left and right. 4-6 in their last 10. Maybe they just had an easy schedule. KCP, solid enough. He give you a little bit points, a little bit steals, a little bit threes. You could stream him for sure if you need those categories. Danny Advia started just the 60 minutes. But in those minutes, 3 steals and a block. But I don't think he needs to be rostered or streamed with everybody healthy. Daniel Gafford, just to 21 minutes. This game, Montrezl Harrell got 27. This is going to happen from time to time that Daniel Gafford and Montrezl Harrell, they're going to exchange minutes every single game, depending on who is playing well. But Daniel Gafford is the guy I want to own over Montrezl Harrell. Daniel Gafford gets so many blocks, so you have to, I think in category leagues, you have to roster him. Somebody in your league definitely love the blocks he's bringing. So yeah, not the best game here, but 1 block and 5 rebound is acceptable. Bradley Beal, man, what's up with this guy, man? He went 1 for 3 from the free throw line again. In the last 2 weeks, Beal is, you know what? He's not even ranked. He is not even ranked. But yeah, so just try to find the Beal owner in your league. See how frustrated he is. Just to see how frustrated. If he's super frustrated, try to throw him a top 50 player. His shots are not falling this year. I think on the season, let's check out. On the season, what percentage is he hitting? On the season, wow. He's actually 94th. 22.3 points. Sure. Hitting just 1.53. So he's not hitting the 3 this year. He's not getting the defensive stats, 0.8. He should be a 1.1 steals guy. So, he could potentially improve on that. And still shooting 83% from the free throw line. So, okay. I think it's just in the last 2 weeks, his free throw has been pretty bad. Last 2-3 weeks, maybe. Abilo, see if you can throw him a top 50. Do a 2-for-1 to get Bradley Beal. He has the upside. Is he going to do it? We don't know. But he definitely has the upside. And the floor should be clear. The 90th ranked player. But yeah. Just to find out how frustrated the Bradley Beal owner is. And who knows, he could be just a top 50 player. Who knows? It could happen. 10 assists is nice and a block. Spencer Dinwiddie also just horrible. Spencer Dinwiddie probably, I'm okay moving on from him. But the assist he's providing is pretty nice. You're not going to find another guy like that on the waiver wire. If he's providing, decent threes or decent steals, I have no problem dropping him, but just the Dinwiddie, 153rd ranked player, averaging 5.2 assists, and literally everything else is bad. But what are you gonna do? If you love the assist, you gotta hold him, but he's not giving you nothing else. He's absolutely giving you nothing else. Montrezl Harrell played 27 minutes, all right, and Davis Bertram got a huge minutes this game, 5 threes. We can monitor his minutes. If he can consistently get 30 minutes, we could stream him for some threes. For the Denver Nuggets, Aaron Gordon, wow, 39 minutes. Huge minutes from him. He's a must roster. 16 points, 5 rebounds, and 3 assists. Didn't really do much this game. But the minutes, he's a must roster. The minutes going to be there. They don't really have anybody on this team. Jeff Green, 13 points, 5 rebounds. Again, Jeff Green, if you want to win field goal, if you want to win free throw, you want to win turnover, he doesn't hurt you anywhere. He helps you, I think, in a way, in all 3 categories. And he's going to provide a little bit threes and points and rebounds as well. Jokic, huge game, 28 points, 19 rebounds. Jokic, have to nitpick. Free throw has not been good with him. Hit 81.8, so that's great. 9 assists. What a beast. 3 steals and a block. I would take him over Curry for sure in fantasy. Devon Reed, Will Barton was out this game, so Devon Reed started, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals. Let's not worry about him. We could definitely stream Campazzo, 5 assists and 2 steals for those 2 categories. And Monty Morris is providing solid enough, very back-end values. And let's check out his rankings. I think we could roster him just because the assist is pretty nice. 57th ranked player in the last 2 weeks, averaging, it's actually not that, 4.3 assists, but it's solid enough. 16 points. He could average 13, 14 points on this team now than everybody, and he's getting consistent 30 minutes. So I think he could be a hold. I don't hate the idea, even though the defensive stats are pretty lacking this season for him. Let's go to the last game of the night. Phoenix Suns lost. Yeah, it's sad. Devin Booker is out, his hammy issues, and they're still 8-10 in the last 8-2 in the last 10. But yeah, they're gonna need him back. So Mikal Bridges had 2 steals. That's great. Mikal Bridges in the last 2 weeks, he's been great. Played just 6 games. 64th ranked player. She should be a top 60, 70 guy in 9 category leagues. I think we all know that. Jay Crowder still in a block. Phoenix Suns has 3 games in the first 4 days. So and they gotta, like Wednesday you have a full roster. So Tuesday and Thursday you could stream some guys like Jay Crowder, JaVale McGee, or Cameron Johnson, or Cameron Payne even. JaVale McGee, great. Ayton, if Ayton continues to be out, we have to stream this guy. 13 rebounds. A guy like that with asthma, I'm surprised he played 25 minutes, but per minute wise, he's a monster. No block this game. Landry Shaman, let's not worry about him. Not a great fantasy player. Chris Paul, you would think with Devin Booker out, he would take over a little bit more. He did try to, took 14 shots. But Chris Paul is really just a 2 category guy. 8 assists and 3 steals here. I think the steal numbers is probably a little bit high. Like same thing with LeBron James. Just been getting crazy number of steals so far this season. It's probably gonna fall off. I don't know. Maybe it could stick. It's a lot. It's an effort thing. A lot of the times. So Cameron Payne, wow, he got 28 minutes with maybe he's another guy that we could stream. With Devin Booker out, so they play him and Chris Paul a little bit, and Cameron Johnson also a must roster in the short term, must stream. I should say, with Devin Booker out. I don't think Devin Booker is close. Is he close? Let's see. Devin Booker. Hamstring issues are very tricky. Yeah, I guess he's been out for a while now. Couple of weeks. So maybe he could return later this week. We'll see. So until he comes back, Cameron Johnson is a guy we could stream. And even Alfred Payton came in. Wow, he's back on the Suns. This guy is a triple-double machine. A couple years in the fantasy playoffs. Whenever this guy gets minutes, he could get steals, he can get assists, he can get rebounds. A good fantasy player, but not in real life. Pretty bad. And let's look at our Clippers. They also dealing with their injuries. Paul George has been out. This is his 3rd or 4th game, and he might be out more games with the elbow issue. So a lot of usage to go around. Marcus Morris Sr. is a guy we could stream and probably sell high because Paul George is out. He took 16 shots. And grabbed 11 rebounds as well. Terrence Mann, I would check Paul George's status. And the Clippers, I don't think they have a good schedule anyways. But, Luke Kennard, Zubac, Terrence Mann, Marcus Morris Jr., they can be streamed until Paul George comes back. They are going to get a little bit, they're going to eat a little bit more. Zubac, wow, 2 steals and 4 blocks. Zubac has been insane lately, providing solid enough numbers. Yeah, 69th ranked player. And both Clipper centers, Isaiah Hartenstein had 23 minutes as well. This guy is a beast per minute wise. Let's check his rankings in the last 2 weeks. He gets rebound. He even gets 7 assists this game and a steal and 2 blocks. 116th ranked player. Yeah, the minutes is too low. Who knows? If he can get the 23-24 minute role on this team, maybe he become a must roster in 12-team leagues. Providing very good solid steals and rebounds and blocks and efficiency numbers. And Eric Bledsoe is a clear drop, even though he got 2 steals this game. Even with Paul George out, he come off the bench, played just 24 minutes. Reggie Jackson, just 19 points and 2 threes. He usually only give you those 2 and nothing else. And that's it, guys. That's it for all the games. I will see you guys tomorrow.